Please welcome veteran DynamicsCon speaker and Microsoft MVP, Katerina Chernevskaya. Today, she'll be presenting her premiering content, 7 Ingredients for Awesome App Development. Please stick around after Katerina's session for a live Q&A.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining my session. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you are. And let me share my screen to start my presentation. So I think that entire screen would be great. And I hope yes. So today we are going to talk about how to build application mainly in Power Apps Canvas app application following best practices, because I think that you can agree that we would like not only functional Canvas app applications, but we also would like to have them robust. We would like to have them scalable, stable. We would like our code to be readable, maintainable, etc. And that's why I'm more than happy to share with you best practices and tips that you can follow on. Thank you very much for DynamicsCon team for having me. This is my second time presenting in the DynamicsCon virtual, and let me introduce myself shortly. So I'm from Bulgaria. I'm MVP in Biz Apps in 2 categories, Power Apps and Power Automate. I've been working as a senior software architect for several years, and now I'm focused on a combination low-code approach with AI. So I'm focusing on Power Platform, building solutions using Power Apps, Power Automate, etc., and enhance its capabilities, these solutions with AI that provided by Microsoft in Azure. So if you would like to talk about these areas, feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn, Blue Sky, whenever you would like. And I see that you can't see my screen. Okay, let me fix it quickly. Okay, let me reshare. Okay, I would like to share entire screen. I think now should be better. Please tell me if it's okay, just in chat. Yes, I think, yes, thank you so much. So let me continue. Additionally, besides, no, let's wait a little bit. Oh, I see in the chat that you can see my screen. Great. So I don't think that we miss some fundamental parts. Great. Let's dive into the main topic of our presentation. It's named formulas and user-defined functions. And around these, yet in preview features, but powerful features, we will build our today's demonstration. Why? Because they help you to build a robust application. They help you to decrease the number of lines of code that you have. They improve the readability of your code, they improve maintainability for your code, and decrease load time, etc., etc. So they have a lot of advantages, and let's go further. So 7 ingredients that I would like to share with you today, they are: start with naming convention. Before you dive into the development process, before you start building your solutions, it is crucial to agree with all your team members about the naming convention, how you will name your screens, how you will name your components, your variables, etc. It will help you to save time and understand your code for your colleagues and for future you. The second ingredient is modularity. We are going to talk about what is it and how user-defined functions and named formulas helps us to make models in our Canvas app application. Of course, we will touch performance of our apps, theming, how to use named formulas to make a great style of your application. We will demonstrate how to make a navigation map inside your application. I think that all of you had a nightmare with big Canvas app application when you need to navigate users from one screen to another screen based on different logic. And today I'm going to show you how named formulas will save time for you and create this straightforward process in the Canvas app application. We will also talk about the error handling and debugging using named formulas and user-defined functions. And of course, we will talk about documentation and comments in your code in the Canvas app application. So let's start. Clear naming convention. When you start create your solution, probably you are going to create a solution, create a Canvas app application inside this solution, provide a name for this Canvas app application, and what you see, if it is a fresh new application that you build from scratch, something like this. With blank screen, with screen one, and what you are doing, you start add components like I need, for example, text label, I need button, I need another button, etc., etc. But what will happen after you add all controls, all logic that you need, all environment variables that you would like to use in your application? What will happen? It will be like a mess. Screen one, screen two. On these screens, we have button one, button two, and it is very complicated to understand what is the purpose of these controls, of these screens, of maybe variables that you have. What I suggest you, before you start building application, you need to agree with your team members about the naming convention. For an example, this screen could be about provide information like instructions for your users, or it could be sign up form. To be clear and to provide information, just rename this screen like sign up screen. The next screen could be like gallery with information, etc., etc. Also, you need to follow not only patterns like renaming and providing meaningful name. Also, you need to keep in mind accessibility for your application and for screen readers. It is crucial to keep spaces in title of your screens and of your controls, and provide full words, not scr one or something like this. The same situation with controls, the same situation with variables. And now you can ask, oh, it's a lot of information that we need to keep in mind in advance before we start building application. How we can figure out how to do this? And here I have a very great option where to start if you did not create naming convention for your organization or for your project before. I would like to share this link for the Power Apps coding standard that Matthew Dhavaney created for you. And this is very comprehensive guide, not only about naming convention, but naming convention has a solid part in this guide. So you can follow this link and get this guide to start. It provides how you can name screens, how you name collection, other different components. So this is a first step. The second step, the second ingredient is modularity. To simplify modularity, breaking down your application into reusable and manageable pieces. Let me illustrate for you. For instance, you have application, Canvas application with several forms, with several screens, and in each screen you have different forms. All these forms about different subjects, about different topics, but all these forms include email field. For example, this is for sign up, and user have to provide his own email. Another form could be like invite his friend, and user can provide another email, etc., etc. But what is common for these fields? The text that user provides in this field should follow exactly the same patterns. We should have the name, we should have symbol, then we should have domain and .com, .uk, or something like this. What we used to use for all these single fields for each screen, we provide formula and we copy and paste. For instance, if we have 5 forms on 5 screens, it means that we need 5 times copy and paste. It is nightmare. And if, for instance, in the future, you will change something in the logic, in these patterns that email address should follow on, it will be nightmare for you because you will need to apply these changes 5 times. User-defined functions resolve this issue and provide you approach where you can specify only in one single place the pattern that all email field should follow on. And for email field, you can refer to this user-defined function and verify if this particular field, the text that user provides for this particular field, follow this pattern or not. Today we are going to see how it could be. Let's go further and talk about performance optimization. Everybody would like to see the first screen immediately. No users would like to see spinners and waiting time for loading. What we did in the past we have to provide all required components on the onStart property for our application. For example, we need to specify our theming. We need to get required information that could be used on other particular screens, on screen number 3 or something like this. And we have a long list of values on the onStart properties. It is very hard to maintain this long list, and this affects the performance of our application because before everything will be executed, our application won't be launched. Our end user won't see the first screen of our application. This is not so good. How named formulas and user-defined function can help to improve this behavior? For instance, you have a gallery that display user any data, let's say telemetry, but this has happened only on the screen 2, and probably some user behavior, some users who interact with your application can skip screen 2 and go to another screen, and it means that in this particular session you won't need this telemetry at all. In traditional behavior, you put collection in the onStart property and collect all this data before the user see the first screen. But with named formulas and user-defined function, you can specify that gathering information, but this gathering information will be executed only if the user will be navigate to the second particular screen. And here we can see the monitor of one application. We can see that what we provide here on start property was executed immediately when the user launched the application. But what is happening with this telemetry? With telemetry, this triggers this executing only when user navigated from the screen 1 to the screen 2. In this case, use named formulas and user-defined function improve your application performance by decreasing the number of loads and load information only when this information should be used in the application. Now, let's go further and talk about application theming. I prepared an application that we can use right now. In this application, I have different colors. I use a color for title of the application. Let's say we are talking about this mobile application. I have different colors for buttons, like primary button and secondary button, etc. And I would like to specify this theme, these colors and other properties in my application. I do not want to provide this exactly color every time I use a control. For this purpose, I created an environment variable, and in the form of JSON, I provide required colors that I would like to use in my application. The environment variable is just for demo purposes, but in your case, you can use Dataverse table, you can use SharePoint list, whatever you would like. You just need to connect this data source in your application. As I'm using environment variable, I connected two tables, variable values and variable definition. What I can do now, I can use named formulas to store all required information, and then I can reuse this information in my application. Before we going deeper in this particular case, let's see the structure of named formula and how we can specify named formula in our Canvas app application. So go to the application level in our Canvas app application and navigate to the formulas property right there. In the formula bar, you can provide the expression, the formula for your named formula. And the syntax is like you use in the Excel. You need to specify the name of your named formula, then put equal mark and provide the expression. Let's, for demo purpose, let's say I would like to see my username. I put the text label here. And for this text label, I will use a named formula. First of all, in the formulas property, I need to specify the expression. Following naming convention, I use NF like a prefix for my named formula. And let's title this named formula like demo full name. Then I put equal mark and provide the expression. For this particular case, I would like to use user function and extract the information about full name. And one important thing, even if you have just only one named formula in this property, you need to put semicolon, because otherwise you saw a lot of errors, a lot of green circles. So for this case, I specified my named formula, and now I can use this named formula whenever I need in my application. We wanted to put this information in this label control. So I go to the text property and select my named formula. And I can see the value right there. What is going on with colors? So we saw that I have environment variable where I store the JSON in form of JSON, the colors. And what I did with named formula, I specify my named formula and provide as a record all colors that I extracted from my environment variable. I have primary color, I have accent color, regular, and secondary, and light. And for my visualization, I just put these 4 colors. And whenever I would like to use these colors in my application, I just can go to the color and refer to my named formula and I refer to exactly the color that I would like to use, the field from my record. What also I would like to show you in this demonstration is how the value of named formulas recalculated based on the changes that are happening in the data source on which this named formula is referenced to. So my named formula, which store color, is depend on the environment variable. Let's say I would like to change color, maybe regular one, from this, I think it's purple one, to this red one. I can simply copy this color here and update my colors. What is happening? This color is patched and transferred to my environment variable, and instantly when these changes are happening on the backend in my data source, the information is applied in my application. The cool thing is that on my onSelect property for my button, I do not have any reset function at all. What I did, I just collect all information from my controls where I put the color, and I just patch this information to my environment variable. That's all. Instantly, when the application dedicated in the data source, the changing happened, this changing was applied in my application, so the color was changed. So I can move back and apply this purple color as well, and everything is here. So this is for theming. You can specify not only colors, you can specify whatever you want, like position, X, width, height, whatever you want, and put in your theme and use across your application. Okay. The next one is, I would say my favorite one is navigation map. So in complex applications, you have different screens and you need to navigate users to the proper one. Let's say we have this table. Based on the role, we should provide the specific text on single button, and this single button should navigate our user to different screens, because we do not want to have a lot of buttons and just show one button based on different parameters. It's overcomplicated. We just have one button, and if the user role, let's say, is administrator, then we need to provide information on the button, like text on the button, select parameters, and we should navigate our user to the select parameter screen. If the user has role manager, then the button should have a name select dates, and the user should be navigated to the select dates. Let's see how it could be done in the Canvas app application with named formulas. Let me demonstrate how it could be show in the application. So now our current role of the user is manager. That's why the manager sees select date title on the button. If I change it to the administrator and just update, we can see that now it's a select parameters button. How it was done? First of all, let's go to the named formulas, to the formulas property of our application, and go to the demonstration for the navigation map. Oops. You saw this table with 3 parameters: user role, action, and navigate to, and I put this table in my named formula. So we have user role administrator. In this case, the button title should be select parameters, as we have here, and navigate to, navigation should be to the select parameter screen. Basically, this is the title, exactly the same title that I have in my application select parameters, or in another case, select date. Now, as I have this table, very, very simple table, in your case, it could be more complicated, I can configure my button, this one. First of all, I need to configure the title that I have here, the text one. In the old scenario, what you can do, you can use if, check the current role. If the current role is this, provide the title this, etc., etc. With named formulas, we can just filter our table. Our table is named formula navigation control, and filter this table based on the current user role, and extract the value that we store in the action column. So for the administrator, action is select parameters. The second thing that we need to specify right there is a navigation. So based on the user role and based on the text that we have here on the button, we should navigate user to any screen in our application. And we do not want to hard code the name of the screen. We would like to have this map in the named formula, and in one place make changes that will be applied to all controls in our application. Let's see how it could be. So for this button, I switch to the onSelect property, and for this onSelect property, I would like to specify navigation behavior. So for navigation, I need to look up where in my named formula navigation control table, what I need to check in this navigation control table. The field user role should be exactly the same that I store my named formula current user role. For this demonstration, I store a user role in the variable in the named formula. For your purpose, you can extract this information from the role that is coming from the Office 365 or something like this. So this is just for demo purpose. And also I need to check the action table in my the action field in my table navigation control should be exactly the same that I have here, select parameters. In this case, I can refer to the self text. And now I need to extract from this NF navigation control the value that I store in the navigate to field. Everything is okay, and let's see how it's working. So if I'm administrator, I should be navigated to the select parameter screen and everything is okay. If I, let's say, manager, update my value, select date, I'm navigating to another screen. So in this case, we didn't hard code any value in the property text or in the property on select. Everything that we specify is layer in the named formula in our table right there. So this is a very, very cool scenario when you avoid hard-coded value and put everything in the one single place in the formulas property, and then you can extend this table based on your requirements. Okay, let's move to our presentation. It was a navigation map. The next one, error handling and debugging. This is, I think, every single application should have error handling and debugging. And let's go to our application and see how it could be done in the using named formulas and user-defined functions. For instance, I have a very, very simple form with two required fields out of 3 fields. And my sign up button, this button, should be active after I enter any data in these 2 fields. So I enter any data right here, and my sign up button is active and I can click and proceed with some activities. Otherwise, this sign up button is disabled. So how it could be done? First of all, let's go to the named formulas, to the formula, and what we can see here. For the required field, I specified the new named formula, which names is NF required fields check. And I have a check here if any of my 2 controls where I put name or where I put email is empty or not, basically is blank or not. And then I store this value in as an output. And for my sign up button for display mode, I just count if my NF required fields check named formulas have at least one field with error true. In this case, my button should be disabled. Otherwise, it should be added. So it should be active and I can click on this button and proceed. So this is 4 required fields and you can follow this. Additionally, beside of required fields check, you can also maybe would like to check the pattern if the value that user provides in this particular field follow the pattern that you specify. For an example, for email address, if we provide something, it will be incorrect email address. If we provide in the pattern, let's say like this, everything will be okay. Another option how you can check this layer again with named formulas. So let's open demonstration. So for error handling, and here I create a little bit more complicated table. In this case, I provide two columns table. The first column is field, the second column is error, and I check, I have three rows. The first row is for text input name. Basically, this is for my field where I provide name and surname. The second row is for my email, and the third row is for my date picker. And for error column, I specify the patterns that should be following by specific controls. Yes, the weakness part using named formulas right there, that we need to refer to the exactly control that we specified. For an example, here you can see that date picker is this control. This is a control name, and this is this field. The bad thing is if you change the name of this control in your control list here in 3View, the name won't be automatically changed in named formulas. So keep in mind, if you use this approach, you will need to manually change the name of the control here in named formula after you rename the control in the application. So what we have here, we have this table. Also, what we can do, we can in the named formula count if we have errors more than 0 in our table, then this named formula will provide true, otherwise it will provide false. How we can use it? First of all, let's use NF error tracking table. For an example, I would like to specify the border control. Now I have the hard-coded value. All time this border control is green if this field has any value or has not. I would like to change this behavior. And for an example, if the field is empty, I would like to have the red or purple border color. Otherwise, I would like to have blue border color. How we can do this? In the border color property, we need to check if, and then make lookup in our NF error tracking table. Then, if the field, the first column in our table, if it's the value is text input name that is specified for our name and surname. If it is error, yes. For in this case, let's use let's say regular color. Otherwise, we are going to use, let's say, accent color. So now you can see that if the field is blank, now we have this purple border control. Otherwise, we have this blue border color. And you can see that we do not use any on-change property or something like this. The value of the named formula calculate on fly. So if we delete anything, it is purple. If we enter anything, it is blue. So very fast. Additionally, how we can use this error handling on our sign up button. You can see that if, for an example, we do not follow this pattern for email, our sign up button is active, but it is not a good approach because we do not need to allow our users to sign up with incorrect email. It is not enough to just specify or highlight here that, hey, you have incorrect email. We need to prevent any activities from our user. So in this case, we can change our code in the display mode. Now we refer only to the named formula that collect information about if our required fields are empty or not. We can add some code here. we need to check if anything is true or any of our required field is empty, or our NF error function provides true as an output. You remember we had the second named formula here, NF error, which count how many rows in our error tracking table has error. And if it is more than 0, so at least one field has error, in this case, this named formula provides true, and you can see here true. So our email address is incorrect. That's why our sign up button is not active anymore. If I add correct email address, it doesn't work. Okay, I will check it later. Maybe I changed something, doesn't matter. Okay, so what we saw here, that you can use named formulas for check required fields and error handling, like we did. Yes, I used some special symbols that I should not use here, and that's why my button was disabled. Yes, but what is the big part here that we need to refer to the specific field, to the specific control. It is a little bit hard, especially if you have a lot of forms in your application where you have different fields. It could be like nightmare. The good part that you can use user-defined functions to mitigate this issue, this bottleneck. And with user-defined function, you shouldn't hard code anything in the formulas level. You can just specify the formula that you would like to follow in your application, and then refer to this formula during the code development. Let's see how it could be. And before we dive into the into the user-defined function, let's talk a little bit about the syntax. We saw that named formulas are very straightforward, like Excel formulas. You can specify just the name of named formula, put equal mark, and then specify your formula. With user-defined functions, it's a little bit more complex, because user-defined functions, it's mainly named formulas with some parameters, and you need to follow this syntax to provide correctly all parameters that you would like to be calculated in your user-defined function. What we have here in this syntax: first of all, you need to specify the name of your user-defined function. Then you have to specify what kind of parameters you will pass to these user-defined functions in the JSON style. Key and value, and value, yes. Key, it will be the name of this parameter, and value will be the type. For an example, you can provide some numbers, you can provide text, etc. After that, you need to specify the output type. And it could not be, it should not be the same with the input value. So you can provide the input value like a number, but the output of your user-defined function could be text. And after equal mark, you can specify the formula that should be executed. Now, let's go to the Canvas app application, and let's say that I have here hours, and I would like to multiply my hours that I specify here, let's say 2, by the cost, and here I would like to have the total cost of hours that I would like to book. Of course, I can specify this expression right there in the application, but let's say for demo purpose, we will use user-defined functions. And if you will have the same requirements in other different screens, you will be able to reuse your user-defined functions in other screens. So to do so, we need to go to the app level again, and we need to specify our user-defined function. I will put it here. First of all, we need to provide the name of our user-defined function. For this case, I will put a prefix UDF, and the name will be, let's say, total price. We remember that we should provide at least one input value. The input value, like a variable that will be used in the calculation. In our case, it is hours. Let's name this variable hours and provide the type that we will pass to our user-defined function. It could be, you can see, date and time, hyperlink, time, etc., etc. In our case, it will be number. One parameter, it's enough. Once we specify everything, then we need to specify the type of our output. And in our case, the output will be text type. Then we put equal mark, and we can just multiply hours by 50 because 50 is our price, or we can use additional functions. Let's say we are going to use concatenate because we would like to provide information in more readable way. So firstly, we would like to text that it is total, and we would like to concatenate total with our calculation. So I'm going to use text because I would like to provide not only like a number. I would like to provide this text in a format of like USD. First of all, I calculate a value. Here I can refer to my hours, my variable that I specify. So hours, I can multiply it by, we said 50. And then I provide information in what type of format I would like to see this number. Let's say maybe like this. And you should not forget about semicolon. Everything is okay. So this is UDF total price. This is our user-defined function. Now, as we specify how the user-defined function value should be calculated, we can refer to this user-defined function in our application. Now, here I have hard-coded value. I don't want to have this hard-coded value anymore. Let's just comment this. And for this text, I can refer to my user-defined function total price, and in the parameter I can specify the hours, and for hours I need to provide text from this field. Let me copy the name of this field, just to do not keep in mind it. So, and we need to provide the text. Yes. And now you can see that it is formatted as I wanted, total, and then in USD. And if I put here, let's say 2, it will be 100. If I put here 4, it will be 200 without any additional properties like on change, etc., etc. So this is how you can specify the user-defined functions. Also, you can use user-defined function for verify email, and this is how error handling could be improved. What we talk about hard-coded values. So let's go to the named formula to the formulas and see my named formulas for verified email. Here again, I have the name of my user-defined function. I have a value that I pass to my user-defined function to be calculated. It is text, my email address. Output should be text as well because it's unrecognized or recognized email format. And then I put expression, the formula that should be calculated when I refer to this user-defined function. It is very simple, so I just check that this email address, this text that I pass to this user-defined function, match or not my pattern for email address. And if it is not match, then the output will be unrecognized, otherwise it will be recognized. How I can use it? I can use it here on the text in my text label control. What I can see here, I refer to my user-defined function. I provide information as a parameter from this field, where I put email, and that's all. I do not hardcode anywhere value in the formula property. I just provide this refer to the control when I would like to calculate the or verify the value that I provided. So if I provide something in the incorrect format, it is unrecognized email format. If it is in correct format, everything is okay. Additionally, you can use user-defined function not only to provide a text, you can also use it as a to provide a Boolean. For an example here, the output not text but Boolean right there. And once we check if this value that user provided match with our format, then true, otherwise it's false. You can use this on the display in the display mode. So we use this user-defined function, provide this as input information about the input value, and provide edit or disable for our display mode for this control. Yeah. Okay, let's move to our presentation. We have 5 minutes, and what I would like as a conclusion. So for documentation and comments, documentation is integral part for any application development. You have to specify everything that you developed in the documentation in the appropriate way, and also you need to comment your code, because if you have a complex formulas, functions in your application, it is better to specify what type of input you have, why you are using this, what should be calculated, where you are using it. So do not forget to document and comment your code and everything you did in your application. To summarize, named formulas and user-defined functions have a lot of advantages for your application development, for streamline coding, for make your application more maintainability, robust, scalable, and stable. First of all, we need to highlight that value that we calculate in named formulas are always in place. You do not need to wait something like application launch, or you do not need to reset your data source once you put information, patch information in your data source. So the value always is available. The formula always is up to date. You have only one single place where you specify expression, your formulas. It is a formula property of your app level. In this place, you specify the expression, and nowhere in the application by accident this could not be changed. So you can be sure that everything is okay with your formula, with your value. We also saw that the calculation of this expression triggered and executed only when it's needed. So if user skip any screen where the output of your named formulas and user-defined functions are needed, in this case, this won't affect your performance of your application and won't be executed at all. And named formulas are very simple, very straightforward way, very familiar for those of you who worked with Excel concept. So you specify the name, you specify the input parameters, output type, it is for user-defined function, and you specify the formula. You need to keep in mind that all these named formulas and user-defined functions are still in the preview, but it is a very good time to start working with them and to start learn them, because once they will be in general availability, I think it will be a very good addition for your application in the production. Okay, that's all from my side for today. If you would like to reach me out in Blue Sky and LinkedIn, follow this link, and also scan this QR code. I provide some additional links for you regarding the topic that we have today. So feel free to reach out to me. Thank you very much for joining my session, and have a nice day and other presentations.